always enjoy Wilmington Mayor Dennis Williams' visits to First. He's our first person this week, and I hope it's safe to say that you enjoy coming here as well.
I do.
Okay, so that's good. Let's start off with policing business right off the top. You issued an executive order to study the implementation of police body cameras. It seems like the cameras, they've been here for a while. Why so long? Why the study now?
Well, those cameras were purchased under the previous administration, and I do believe that Ferguson and other areas of this country did spark my interest in me and the chief. And we sat down and we talked about it, and I decided to implement an executive order to study and get officers trained and implement that. And the cameras that we have now, they were purchased probably 3 or 4 years ago, they're probably obsolete. There's more modern technology now with cameras that you can't tamper with. If you tamper with them, it will send off some type of signal. It will come into the communications room. And these are the things we want. We want things that can't be tampered with or changed or altered, because this continues to bring us public trust, and that's what we want, public trust.
So how soon do you think the police officers will get to wear them?
I said probably by year's end, but it'll be sooner than that. I just don't want to put pressure on to rush to do something and it's not done right. One of the things we want to do, we want to train the officers on the utilization of these body cameras, also have policy set in, and we also want to do demonstrations for the community so they'll understand how these work. We don't want anything hidden. We want everything open to the public, and people have to understand the Wilmington Police Department belongs to the citizens of this city.
Yeah, so when it comes to the city murder rate, it seems like it slowed down as well. Do you credit Operation Disrupt for that?
Absolutely. I credit Operation Disrupt and the men and women of the Wilmington Police Department. They have been working tirelessly to get out there and do their job, building relationships in the community, working very hard to stop this. They feel pain too when this happens, because it's what they stand for. It's public safety, to protect and serve. And they are doing one heck of a job out there, rolling their sleeves up and going to work every day, not complaining, and working very hard. And I commend them for that.
Was there ever a conflict between the State Violence Commission recommendation and your plan?
Well, we started our plan back in January of 2015, to be exact, the 27th. All of a sudden, the commission came up in March, and I'm not going to jump to no commission with 111 items to do when we already had something that's working. We will study the commission like we've been doing, and we will have something coming out pretty soon.
Just curious, the death penalty in Delaware seems to be something that many people are passionate about, whether they're for it or against it. What's your stance on it?
Well, I tell you, as a former police officer, you know, everybody can jump up and down and talk about they're against the death penalty. Why don't we talk to some of the victims who've lost their loved ones to murderers, and let's see where we go from there.
So you are for it?
Yes.
Okay. So you put together a fairly tight budget for next year. Have you been talking to City Council about possible changes that might take place, or are you pretty confident that your budget plan will move forward?
Well, it's a bare bones budget. We rolled it out there. City Council was a part of it from the beginning, and I hope they support the budget. I don't want another tit for tat budget fight. I don't have time for that. I have a city to run. I got to move on, and whatever happens, you know, we'll see. Speaking
of that, what's your relationship with council now?
I think a lot better. There's several members I get along with very well, but you know, as we speak, this is the political season. We have some people jockeying for mayor over there, and some of the things they do will be all political, but it's okay. This is democracy.
Yeah.
See you on the battlefield.
Exactly. So, just curious, do you have a campaign slogan for re-election?
Same thing, Williams 2017 this time.
Okay. Well, in 2012, during your campaign, you mentioned that 4 years from now, we won't recognize the city. Just tell me, what's the best thing that has happened to Wilmington from your point of view?
Well, we're slowing down this violence. We've made some changes internally. We're making more people accountable that work for the city of Wilmington. We're trying to make our city cleaner. As you know, I stated to you off camera, we have a new hotel coming. We have a lot of small businesses coming. We were ranked almost #1 in the nation for young entrepreneurs and young people moving to our city. We have the 11th busiest train station in the nation. We are working very tirelessly to make this a better city and to bring people to the table, and specifically young folks and baby boomers like myself. We have to bring a lifeblood in this city, and I think you're seeing the changes. Streamlining the way business is done, people not getting held up for business license permits. We've lost millions of dollars over the years because of the bureaucracy that this city has, and we're streamlining things, getting things to change here.
Mm-hmm. Anything else going on that you can share with us?
Well, we have the National Conference of Northeast Legislators coming in August. We expect over 1,100 people. They will be in Wilmington. All the events will be in the city of Wilmington, with the exception of one will be at the Hagley Museum. But the Blue Rocks will have prepaid folks here through tickets, the Opera House, the Queen Theater, the Grand. I mean, and the DuPont Theater, we have a ton of people coming here, and we also have several more coming, but we got to get commitments from that, and I'll make sure you get that before it takes place. But they bring on the National Conference of State Legislatures of the Northeast. That's quite a big deal for a city.
Okay. Well, I want to backtrack and go back to maybe re-election. Who do you think, or who do you know of that's campaigning or would like to take your job, and does it bother you?
Oh, it doesn't bother me, but I would never say their name, give them some free publicity. Okay. I would never say it. I'm not worried about any of the candidates that want to run. This is the democracy again. This is what this nation's all about. This seat is not guaranteed to anyone. One of the things I made a commitment to all the years I've been in office. When I ran for the 4 years to be here until 2016 December. I'll look at the next one when it comes around. My commitment is not to run now for the next election. My commitment is to do the job that the people elected me to do for the 4 years. That's where most candidates make mistakes. They get elected and they already start campaigning for the next one. That's why they don't get anything done. If you look at most of those candidates' records who talk about running for office while they're still in office, they have never passed a piece of legislation. They haven't done anything. All they've been was the ones that's been in community media jumping up and down and pounding on their chest.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have you here on set. You're brutally honest, as always.